Hello, my dear friends. Today I am going to start a new lesson from grade 10 science. This is the first lesson of grade 10 science book, Chemical Basis of Life. Actually, it describes the chemical pattern and chemical formulas that are used to produce human or any living matter. And from here, uh, we are going to discuss some little uh, most important things in this lesson. Okay. Now, at the beginning, I would like to tell this is not the complete lesson. Actually, this is not the complete lesson, and this is only a little summarization of this lesson. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, uh, when we are considering about chemical basis of the living matter, uh, there are about 25 elements are in our body. That means there are about 92 elements in the nature. 92 elements in the nature. Uh, Out of that 92, 25 elements helps to develop our living body. And there is another thing in here. uh, when we are considering about chemical compounds, okay, what are the compounds? uh, in simple compounds are, and simplest meaning is a compound is the mixture of some chemical elements. It's a mixture of some chemical elements is equal to chemical compound. Okay, then we can divide chemical compounds into two categories as organic and inorganic. When we are considering about these organic and inorganic categories, there are very important thing in here. Organic means the compounds that contain carbon, and inorganic means that doesn't contain carbon. Okay, remember, organic means that the compounds that contain carbon, and inorganic means the compound that doesn't contain any carbon. Okay, and then we can again subdivide this organic part into four major categories. Before that thing, we are the carbon molecules. Okay, that means organic molecules we can named as biomolecules. Okay, that is some similar word for the organic living molecules. That means the molecules that contain carbon can be named as biomolecules. Understand? I think you can understand this explanation. The molecules that contain carbon we can uh, we call as biomolecules. There are four another subcategories according to belongs to the biomolecules as carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. Okay, and again we can subdivide this carbohydrate category into another three subcategory, like as monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. Okay, this is the summary of this lesson. This is the whole summary of this lesson. Okay, and then we can go further. When we are discussing about this part, we do not how to do this part in this lesson. But there is another important thing you have to remember. at the beginning, I told you the organic compounds are the compounds that contain carbon, and inorganic are the compounds that doesn't contain carbon, but we can write carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and carbon monoxide into this category. It belongs to this inorganic category, but it has carbon. But that is another field. That is not belongs to this lesson actually, but I have to memorize these things in here. That's the thing. Carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, some carbonates and some bicarbonates belongs to this inorganic category, while it has carbon atoms. Okay. And now again we come to our lesson. And carbohydrates, protein, lipid, and nucleic acid. We can call these four things as biomolecules. These four things are biomolecules. Carbohydrate is a biomolecule, protein is a biomolecule, lipid is a biomolecule, and nucleic acid is a biomolecule. And if someone asks what is a biomolecule, the biomolecule is the molecule that contain carbon and that helps to develop or produce any living matter. Okay, that is the simplest definition of the biomolecules. Again, and from the carbohydrate, we can subdivide this one into monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. When we consider about carbohydrates, it also has some like some chain. Okay, chain means like this. Okay, this one unit carbohydrate, we can consider carbohydrate is like a chain, and this one unit can be named as one monosaccharide. Okay, one unit is monosaccharide, and disaccharides can be produced with the combination of two monosaccharides. The meaning of this prefix mono is just one, and the meaning of this prefix di is two, and poly means more than two. Okay, remember, mono means just one, and di means two, and poly means more than two. And monosaccharides means the compounds that contain monosaccharides. The compounds that contain monosaccharides are made up with just one unit of carbohydrate. And when we are considering about the disaccharides can be produced by the combination of two monosaccharides like this. And when we are discussing and consider about this polysaccharides, means more than two units. It has a long chain. Okay, when we are considering about this polysaccharides, it has a long chain. Okay, now this is the summary of this lesson, and by this lesson we have to, after studying this lesson, we have to explain one by one carbohydrate, protein, lipids, and nucleic acid with their examples, and how to identify that one by using some lab tests. Okay, there are very simple lab tests on your book, and you have memorized those things, and please ask your teacher to explain those little experiments into your school lab. I think already you know these ones, and someone, I think someone already did these things and these experiments. And please memorize this chart. Okay, this is the uh, very comprehensive and very effective thing of the learning, flow charts. Okay, and in here it can contain many subject knowledge in here, and it is easy to memorize when we have one side from on this chart, and it is very easy to identify those things one by one. And from our next lesson I will have to explain these monosaccharides, disaccharides and polysaccharides in detail one by one, and what are the tests that you can carry how to identify these three types of carbohydrates. Okay, and after that we have to study this about these proteins and lipids and nucleic acids, and also vitamins. It is not belongs to this side, but it is also a biomolecule, but it we don't actually in this lesson we are not going to discuss about vitamins. This is the major 4 biomolecules that we have to study in this lesson. Okay, and please memorize these things. Chemical compounds can be divided into 2 categories: organic and inorganic. Organic means the compounds that contain carbon, and inorganic means that compound that doesn't contain carbon atoms. But memorize these 2 examples. Okay, carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide has carbon, but we are putting in there those carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide in this category. Okay, it is belongs to inorganic category. And the compounds that contain carbon and also which helps to develop living matter are known as biomolecules. The compounds that the chemical compounds that contain carbon and which helps to develop living matter are known as biomolecules. And in this lesson you are going to studying about 4 major categories of biomolecules: carbohydrates, lipids, proteins and nucleic acid. Okay, let's meet on the next video.